It's a wax cylinder for a dictaphone. It looks like there's a recording on it. If I could get the pieces in the right order, I could listen to it. I better use this piece to help me position the others. Perfect. It looks like all the pieces fit together. Now I just need to find a way to make them stick together. Yes, if I melt the wax on the edges, the various pieces should stick together without any problem. It looks like all the pieces are attached well. This dictating machine cylinder is inscribed. There must be a recording on it. There's a dictaphone on the table. It looks like it was used recently. There's a... It should be okay this way. Now I only have to turn it on. And now let's see what's on the cylinder. The cylinder is running, and the voice of a woman with a French accent comes from the dictaphone's small speaker. She introduces herself as Michelle Nicholas from the Congregation of Five. The message was recorded for the professor and explains the details of a plan to get him and the girl out of the museum. According to the plan, a man sent from the congregation will come to pick up the professor and bring him and the girl to a safe house. The recording ends with the woman thanking the professor for having taken the girl away from a city with an incomprehensible name. A French woman, a congregation with a pretentious name, and a professor that kidnaps girls. A lot of information for my already confused head. So it was the professor who brought the girl here. This explains many things. Sean was probably one of the men who was supposed to get the professor and the girl, according to Michelle Nicholas's plan. But something must have gone wrong, and Zindler is the one who paid the price for it. I remember an organization called the Congregation of Five being mentioned in the incision. I'd better do some research on Michelle Nicholas. Maybe the police archives could be helpful this time as well.
Let me guess. We have to go somewhere.
The police department, Hoboken.
We see.
As they say, open sesame. It looks like there's a file on Michelle Nicholas, too. 607-0121. File 607-0121, Michelle Nicholas. Here's Michelle Nicholas's file. Nicholas's profile. As I had guessed from the name, she has French origins. Odd. Under crimes, there's nothing but a vague, possible involvement in a criminal organization. That's a pretty weak reason to open a file on someone. These are reports filled out by different officers. It looks like they were tailing Michelle Nicholas. It doesn't happen often in New York, but when it does, the police make sure that at least a couple officers are following the suspect. And it looks like Malone was the one to request the stakeout, at least judging by the signature on these pages. This seems to be the report on the last sighting of Michelle Nicholas. She arrived in New York on October 28, 1933, and she disappeared on November the 5th, the same day of the staged death of Professor Zindler. According to the report, in that week she was renting a room, and surprise, she chose Slavonsky's apartments to hide in. If you have little money and a not exactly immaculate criminal record, it's the best place to go. Who knows, maybe that stingy Russian Slavonsky might be able to give me some useful information about our runaway Frenchwoman.
Where you want go this time?
Essex Street, Lower East Side.
Okay.
What can I do for you, Del Nero?
Have you ever heard of Michelle Nicholas?
Michelle Nicholas. That name doesn't mean anything to me.
A French woman. She stayed in your apartments last November.
There is a lot of turnover here, Del Nero. I can't remember everyone who passes through.
I've lived here for more than 2 years, Slavansky. There's no way a French woman would have passed through this hovel of losers without attracting some attention.
I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in rent money. Why are you looking for Michelle Nicholas?
I'm looking for a wife. I opened the phone book and found her name.
Your sarcasm will get you into trouble, sooner or later, Del Nero.
Now tell me something I don't know. Michelle Nicholas. I know she stayed here, so stop lying to me.
Okay, she stayed here for about 1 month. I only saw her when she moved in and out. She paid her rent in advance and I never had to see or talk to her. She had apartment on top floor, number 607. Happy now?
Do you know what she did for a living, or why she rented the apartment from you?
I'm not kind of guy who butts around in private lives of people. That's your job, detective.
I'd like to see apartment 607.
Sorry, Del Nero, but apartment 607 isn't available right now.
Why?
He's being renovated.
You decided to renovate an apartment? I have a hard time believing that.
I don't care if you believe or not. You're not going to see apartment.
Slavansky won't let me in that room. I know that. I'll have to find another way to get in there. Goodbye, Slavansky.
Goodbye, Del Nero.
Apartment 607. This is the apartment where Michelle Nicholas was hiding. I don't believe that lie about renovations. Slavansky is definitely hiding something. Getting in there is the only way I can find out something. Dannazione. The lock just reset. I have to start over. Dannazione. The lock just reset. I have to start over. Dannazione. The lock just reset. I have to start over. Dannazione. Something tells me that there aren't just pillows underneath this sheet, and this makes the third dead body of the evening. Even if my French is awful, I think this says the way to the light. An old trunk. There's just a few blankets inside. Seeing how this evening's turning out, better not. I wouldn't want to find a fourth dead body under those blankets. There's a pantry here. There's enough food for a month. I'm not the kind of guy who'd steal food. There isn't anything on the desk, except for a few blank pieces of paper. I don't see anything interesting. Whoever is under this sheet must have seen better times. I don't like to disturb the dead, but I have to find out who's under this sheet.
I wouldn't do it if I were you.
Slovansky, what are you planning to do with that old iron?
Whatever I want to if you don't do as I say.
So you're mixed up in all this too?
I don't know anything about this, Del Nero. I just have orders to follow.
From who? Black Lily?
You're in no position to ask questions, Del Nero. You're more in position to answer them.
I'm not in the habit of answering men who point a gun at me.
You'll make exception this time. Tell me, Del Nero, who are you working for?
You know perfectly well that I don't work for anyone.
I know you are a private detective, but that might just be cover.
If I had another job, I'd get a better place than this one, where the owners don't point guns at their renters.
You might be doing this just for your ideals, Del Nero.
I'm not a guy who goes in for ideals. They get you killed too easily.
So why are you looking for Michelle?
Michelle. You called her by her name. I guess you know her well.
I'm the one asking questions, Del Nero. Why are you looking for Michelle?
I found her name on a recording from an archaeologist or someone like that.
Are you talking about Professor Zindler?
Looks like you know a lot, Slovansky.
Where's Professor now?
At the Central Park Museum, with a hole in his forehead.
I see. Looks like a lot of people are looking for you lately, Del Nero. The only reason to look for someone is because he has something other people don't have.
If you're talking about my sense of humor, you might be right.
Knock it off, Del Nero. I get orders from group called Congregation of Five.
The Congregation of Five, the same one Michelle Nicholas belonged to.
Exactly, Del Nero. And we are having big problems with Black Lily Mafia. We both want same thing, girl. And Congregation thinks you have her.
Well, they're wrong.
I don't think so. Visit you received tonight confirms that we aren't only ones who think you have girl.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Come on, Del Nero, don't be fooled. Do you have girl?
I'm not saying anything until I meet with Michelle Nicholas face to face.
It'd be pretty hard for you to talk to her.
Let's cut out this nonsense and tell me where she is.
She's right there near you, under that sheet.
So that's Michelle Nicholas's body under there?
That's right. Black Lily got to her before she found girl.
Dannazione. Michelle Nicholas was, maybe, the last chance I had to find out about the girl and about what happened tonight.
If you want answers, you'll have to wait until tomorrow morning, Del Nero.
What's happening tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow at about 6 a.m., Congregation will send a guide to take Michelle's place.
Tomorrow morning? I'd say timing isn't your strong point.
Our organization doesn't have same means as Black Lily.
And who's going to take care of the girl until this guy gets here?
Same person who's been taking care of her so far. You.
So I'm supposed to protect the girl until this guy gets here? That's what you're asking me?
That's right.
Why should I trust this guy?
You don't have choice. Moreover, I wouldn't have any problem to take girl with my own hands if I had to. but I'm not a man of action. I'm just building owner on Lower East Side. You are definitely the best person to take care of girl for now.
Who is this guy that's supposed to come tomorrow?
Ah, don't know yet. Don't worry, you'll meet him as soon as he gets here.
What happens once I turn over the girl?
Like I said, I just rent apartments down here. These are questions for guy who'll get here tomorrow morning. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to work.
That's it? You come in here pointing a gun at me, and now you're leaving?
I just wanted to be sure what your intentions are with girl.
And talking about it was enough?
Ah, that's not all, De Niro. In my line of work, I learned to understand who you can trust. And it's funny to say it, but you seem reliable. And now, I'll say goodbye, De Niro. Good luck.
Now that I have shed some light on the identity of the girl, I'd better get back to finding Sean's killer. I must find out who shot him. Michelle Nicholas's body. Maybe the only person who could have explained what's going on here. But at this point, she isn't in any condition to answer questions. Inside the closet, there's just a crutch and a few rags. Nothing else. There isn't anything interesting in there. And there's nothing in the bathroom either. Just some soap and a few towels. The bare necessities.
What can I do for you, De Niro?
Tell me about the Congregation of Five.
What do you want to know?
Why are you looking for the girl?
I don't know, De Niro. If you want answers, you have to wait for a guy the congregation sent to deal with girl.
When will he get here?
Tomorrow morning around 9 a.m.
And until then, I'll have to babysit the girl, right?
Right, De Niro. There's no other choice.
How did you get in?
I was never part of organization. My old man was member. We moved to America for his job. He deciphered codes for them.
So what's your role?
When my old man was too old to work, he decided to buy this building. Congregation helped him. The only provision is that if they need it, it has to be safe house for their members.
And this safe house is apartment 607.
Exactly, De Niro. That's why that room is always closed.
What's the relationship between the congregation and Sean McClane?
McClane must be your friend they found dead tonight, right?
Yes, even if friend isn't the right word.
Anyway, I only know members who stayed in my building. I never heard of your friend.
I don't have any other questions. Goodbye, Slavonsky.
Goodbye, De Niro.
Where you want go this time?
The Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Whatever you want.
The harbor master's office is open. The police sealed the port.